Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another Tottenham Hotspur match preview. It is that time again. Tottenham versus Everton this time in the Premier League at the new Hill Dickinson Stadium. Going to be another really tough game on the road, but Tottenham are still undefeated on the road under Thomas Frank. We picked up, obviously, that 0-0 draw, albeit a bit fortunate, against Monaco in the Champions League in midweek. And I think it's really important that we pick up points on the road here again, because after this Everton game, we've got an incredibly tough run. This is no disrespect to Everton, but we've got the likes of Chelsea coming up, Arsenal, Manchester United, obviously Newcastle in the Carabao Cup next week. So, ideally, 3 points would be lovely. I know it's not that easy, and it feels like it's been forever since we've had a win, because obviously we haven't won since before the international break. That game away to Leeds, we come back, we lost to Aston Villa, we drew to Monaco, and the form's been a little bit concerning, to be honest with you. I want to talk about something I don't usually like talking about and using as an excuse, but it's a consistent problem at Tottenham, and that is the injuries. Right, the medical department can be revamped as many times as it wants to be. It still seems to always be the case that Tottenham Hotspur continuously pick up injuries. We were without 10 first-team players against Monaco. Among those 10 first-team players, Christian Romero, Dejan Kulusevski, James Maddison, Dominic Solanke. They are arguably four players who start for us. I think Dominic Solanke definitely at the moment based on Richarlison's form. Christian Romero, of course. Dejan Kulusevski, one of our best players. James Maddison, 100% as well. So, yeah, it's been a really tough one because Thomas Frank is obviously playing with a little bit of limitation. Maybe he doesn't necessarily trust the team and the players available to play more attacking football at the moment, and that's why we're seeing him be a bit more conservative, maybe riding things out a little bit more, taking less risks. Unfortunately, I think that has to change, because I think there comes a point where Tottenham simply just accept we are a team that always has injuries. We've tried changing the medical department, we've tried not rushing players back, we've tried rushing players back, and the result is always the same. Christian Romero missing 3 games at the very least, so I don't think he's going to be available for this trip to Everton, which is a huge shame, because I think Everton are a really dangerous team. And I think they're going to be a strong opposition. David Moyes has come in and really steadied the ship there. He's made them a very hard team to beat, but they're also quite an exciting team going forward. Obviously, they've got Ilman Ndiaye, who's a fantastic player. I'd love to see him in a Spurs shirt if he was one of our winger options in January or next summer. Jack Grealish, obviously revitalised since his loan move from Manchester City. He's dangerous. I think the only problem Everton have had is who their best striker is. I think Beto has been performing up to standards, and I forget the name of the other guy that they keep rotating with him, but he's not really hit the ground running either. So there's opportunity. My concern for this game coming up is how we're going to score goals. And I would start Randall Kolo Muani up front after his cameo against Monaco in midweek. I think he finally looked a lot sharper. He looks a lot more capable than Richarlison. On the other hand, Richarlison loves a game against Everton because I think he really loves the club. He scores every time he plays against them, and he generally performs really well, and I think he'd be really up for playing in their new stadium. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Richarlison start this game against Everton at the weekend. Wilson Odobert, that's the other bit of team news, came off with a knock against Monaco. Still waiting to see what Thomas Frank's assessment and where he's at for the weekend is. Obviously, I'm recording this before his press conference on Friday afternoon. So we're still waiting for an update on him. And if he's obviously not fit, it's going to be interesting to see what he does. Does he stick Xavi Simons out on that left wing? Does he put Brennan Johnson out there? Does he do Matthias Tell? It's a very difficult one because we're missing Adogi as well. I completely forgot about him. I missed him off the first team player list that we didn't have because I think he's so important for us. I mentioned it in my reaction video to the Monaco game. He's one of that left back area for me is one of the big issues at the moment because I think Jed Spence is very limited going forward. He's a very good defender and he defends one-on-one situations extremely well. However, He's very right-footed, obviously, so playing him on the left, he's always looking to go inside. And he doesn't really take any risks with the ball, whereas Udogie is the complete opposite. And I think he's quite integral to the way we build up and go forward, as is Christian Romero. So the fact that we're missing both of them at the moment is obviously more of a hindrance than a help. But Tottenham still have talent and players capable of being able to make a difference. I want to see more from Xavi Simons, right? It's very, very difficult because we as a fan base have been banging on about that midfield pivot. Bentancur, Paulinho, not progressing the ball up the pitch, passing it sideways way too often. It means Xavi Simons isn't getting maybe as much of the ball as he should have for a creative main sort of number 10 for Tottenham. But when he does have the ball and when he is on the pitch, I still feel like he's not doing anything special. And I don't know if that's a confidence thing. I don't know if that's him adapting to the Premier League. But he's not wowed me yet, right? He's had a couple of really good performances and cameos. But, he was on the bench for the Monaco game. He came on, didn't really influence things much. And I thought the idea of signing him was he's a star signing. And I know it's not that easy. Take a look at Florian Wirtz at Liverpool, right? Really struggling to adapt to the Premier League. They spent a hell of a lot of money on him and he's just not doing it for them right now. But it varies player to player because on the other hand, Ekitike's come in for them up front, hit the ground running. Walter Made for Newcastle, the exact same. A few other players across the league as well. But I think Xavi Simons, I'm hoping it just is a matter of of when, not if, he gets up to the standard that we expect of him. £60 million fee or £55 million and a very, very good player when he's on it. But if we're going to start scoring more goals, and that's the issue with Tottenham at the moment, and creating more chances in the final third, he needs to be at a higher level, essentially. That's my opinion. And then, we can't expect Mohamed Kudus to do everything because it just seems like one of our only game plans at the moment is give Kudus the ball and hope that he can beat 4 players and either score or put it on a plate for someone to tap in. And we can't rely on that all season. It's not sustainable. And that's why you want to see more from the likes of Richarlison on the pitch, who just isn't doing it for me. And I've lost faith in him again after a positive start to the season, which is a huge shame. Odegaard's been good, but he's not had that final third bit of quality that I think will come with time. But again, you balance it. Like, obviously, time for players to get good, giving Tell a run of games, giving Odegaard a run of games, giving Simons a run of games, so they can adapt to the level that they need to be at for Tottenham if they're going to start consistently. But yet, you want to score goals now. You want to win games now, especially after such a positive start. And we want to be in the fight for those European places come the end of the season. So, there are games that we've played this season where we've dropped points already that we really shouldn't have. And Tottenham, I'm hoping, can rectify it in this Everton game. It's going to be far from easy, right? It's going to be really far from easy. Their fans still riding that wave of the new stadium. And they're a pretty good, team in general. So without further ado, I'll go through my lineup for the game. Vicario in goal, who had an excellent game against Monaco, by the way. We've given him a bit of stick over the last couple of weeks, but credit where credit's due. He won us that point against Monaco. I think it'll be the same back four that we saw in midweek. Actually, no. Tell a lie. I think Jed Spence will start at left back instead of Archie Gray. I think it will then be Van der Ven, Danso and Pedro Porro. In the midfield, unfortunately, I can only see a Bentancur Paulinho pivot again, which I'd personally like to see Archie Gray in there, to be honest. I think he was fantastic in almost every game he's played this season, whether it's been at left back, centre mid, wherever. He looks sharp, and I want to see him given a start in the Premier League and showing what he can do, because he's a good player, a top talent, and Bergvall's been getting chances here and there. So why not Archie Gray as well, right? He deserves that same opportunity, and he's just as good at what he does. In that number, it's really difficult. I'm gonna go with Xavi in that 10 because I'm going off the basis that Odegaard is fit and ready to go. I wouldn't be surprised to see someone like Brennan Johnson start on the left-hand side, though. But for now, I'll go with Odegaard until I know differently. On the right, Kudus as well. Need to be careful with him because if he gets injured, it's over for us. It's ropes for us. And then I think it will be Richarlison up front. I don't think he's going to start Kolo Muani just yet. I don't think Bergval's going to play Sarr, despite the fact that they maybe deserve starts. I just think Thomas Frank's very much in his ways at the moment, particularly on the road away from home. He has a system, he has a team that he has in mind for that. So that's what I've gone with. Let me know if you disagree with it, by the way, in the comments. Who do you think should be starting for Tottenham at the moment? And what do you think this game's going to be like? I see it being a very, very even affair, but I don't see too many goals in it. I think two pretty sure defences, and two teams with a bit of a lack of bite in the final third, maybe. I think that's a fair assessment. So, prediction. I hate my predictions at the moment because I'm struggling to predict us to win, but we have been better away from home, and maybe a 1-0 win for Spurs is on the cards here. I'm not sure who's going to score it. Maybe Kolo Muani off the bench. Maybe Xavi Simons gets his first goal. Unsure, to be honest, but I'll go with that because I want to live in hope. I want to predict Tottenham to have a positive performance and to have a win. But at the same time, I'm realistic. And realistically, at the moment, we've not been good enough and we need to get better soon. Because Thomas Frank will find out very, very quickly that fans at Spurs are very reactionary, myself included. I'll hold my hand up at that, and they will turn on him if things do not improve. So, yeah, I think we need to be really careful. I understand this concept of don't lose the game, but I'd rather lose a game and win the next two than draw all three of them. You know, that's 6 points compared to 3. So I just want to be braver. I want to see us have a bit more attacking intent. I want to see us progress through midfield and create chances because it's really starting to be a bit of a struggle to watch us at the moment. That Monaco game was so painful to watch, and how we didn't lose that game, I'll never know. But we rode our luck. 21 shots I think against us, the most we've had against us in a Champions League game since 2019. Vicario got like a perfect 10 rating on SofaScore, the first Italian to do so. Made 8 saves, stopped 2.68 I think expected goals. So we were very lucky. And if we put in another performance like that against Everton, I think we'll be torn apart. So yeah, we really need to be careful and we really need to up our levels. And I'm hoping that we do. I hope Thomas Frank will change it and it's not the starting 11 that I've just predicted. But we'll see. We will see. But thank you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Let me know what you're thinking. Feel free to like the video and subscribe to the channel as well, of course. And enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the game on Sunday. I'll try and get some reaction to you as soon as possible. But for now, have a good one. And as always, come on, you Spurs.